And now the Suey nominees for Best Revelation. Aaron Paul.
I was doing shots of tequila with Michael Jackson. We got pretty drunk. We shared stories. It was pretty incredible. He could throw them back too. It was pretty great.
Ben Stiller, Good Will Hunting Revelation.
I remember getting sent the script for Good Will Hunting as the director. And I was very young at the time, and I didn't get around to reading it.
Oh,
Man.
If only I'd read it.
put us next to you when you see Good Will Hunting, like the first time.
I was like, yeah, I screwed that one up. But I don't think I would have made as good a movie as Gus Van Sant because he's a great director.
What was the choice that you ended up doing instead? What? Now that we're here,
It might have been Duplex or Envy.
Oh, no.
Big Boy, Super Bowl Revelation.
We were supposed to perform at the Super Bowl, but we had two songs, The Way You Move and Hey Ya, and Dre didn't want to split the songs up, so they was like, y'all can't do it. He wanted to perform both songs at full, and they didn't give us enough time to do it, so we passed.
Bill Pullman's Independence Day Revelation.
There was a period where Fox wanted to call it Doomsday, and Dean and Roland really wanted Independence Day, and they said if we shoot this early in the schedule and cut it together and show it to them, they'll see why it has to be called Independence Day.
Burt Reynolds, College Choice Revelation.
I signed with Miami. I was going to go to Miami. But I went up there with Dick Hauser, who was going to play baseball, of course. I went to see the coach, and the coach was one of those guys that could sell, ice to the Eskimos. And he said, what are they giving you in Miami? And I said, well, I can't tell you that, Coach. He said, well, can they give you this? Because we have 7 girls here for every guy. And I said, I know where I can go and get a hell of an education.
all right, there you go.
Caron Butler, Vlade Divac Revelation.
True or false? Vlade Divac smells like cigarettes.
True.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Eric Stone Street's George Brett Revelation.
I butt texted George Brett embarrassingly one time. George Brett is in my phone, and I woke up one morning and realized that the night before we had been texting about, I think, something in Kansas City, and then I kept sending him all these texts. And I was like, oh, God. So I had to do damage control the next day and tell George Brett that I wasn't drunk texting him. I was butt texting him.
Gerald McCoy's Pajamas Revelation.
I have a Batman onesie that I don't wear too often because I'm too big, but I have Batman pajamas with a cape on it.
A onesie.
I have Batman shoes. I have a lot of Batman stuff.
Wait a minute. You've got Batman pajamas with a cape on them?
Yeah.
Hank Azaria, Simpson Voice Revelation.
I am going to ask you an intensely personal question, Hank. Have any of the characters made an appearance in the bedroom?
Oh, boy. Boy. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. How about I just say yes and leave it at that?
Jimmy Kimball's Howie Long Revelation.
Howie had said that he wasn't going to come back to the show if I came back to the show. And, of course, the guys at Fox ratted him out immediately and told me that. So I went on Letterman and talked about it, and he wasn't happy because it put him in a tough position where he could not stand by that demand that I be fired without being blamed for me being fired.
J.J. Reddick's Hotel Clerk Revelation.
Myself and a couple buddies and my little brother, we all took a road trip down to Atlantic City. And, we all went in to go check in, and the general manager had made my reservation under J.J. Reddick. And my ID, of course, says Jonathan Clay. And so for like 20 minutes, I'm trying to explain to this guy at the front desk that, my name is J.J., that's what I go by. And he just would not give me the keys to the room. And finally, I don't know where it came from, but out of my mouth came the words, Google me.
Oh, no!
Yeah, and then I looked back at my friends, and I thought to myself, oh, my God, I just did that.
Jordy Nelson's Per Diem Revelation.
Even now in the NFL, when we go on road trips, we get per diem to go out and have dinner with everyone. Some guys, their wives or family will be in town, so they'll go eat with them, and I'll just stay in the hotel room and wait till snack at 9 o'clock to eat dinner and not pay for food.
Wait a minute. Nelson, you've got a $39 million contract that came with like a $12 million bonus. You're like hoarding the per diem so that you can just have the team snack?
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald's butt revelation.
Larry Fitzgerald would wander around and he'd look back and there was an old woman with her hand on his butt. This happened how many times? How many times did this happen?
It's happened a few different times.
No, give me a number.
I would say more than 5.
Just guesstimate for us, like the oldest lady who did that to you.
I would say over 80. I have a friend of mine, mother up in Minneapolis. I'm going to name her. Her name is Mimi. She lives in Palm Springs, but she comes to Minneapolis quite often, and she always has a handful of my tush whenever she gets a chance.
Michael Madsen's Whitey Bulger revelation.
I would have liked to have played Whitey Bulger. No offense to Johnny Depp. I did Donnie Brasco with Johnny. He's a good kid, but honestly, I could have played Whitey Bulger, and I would go as far to say that I think I could have done a better job.
Yeah, Madsen! Yeah! Yeah!
Sorry, Johnny, but yeah.
Indamico Sue's movie revelation.
What's the last time Indomitian Sue cried in a movie?
Cried in a movie. Probably the last 2 that I actually remember crying in were Amistad and Jack.
Jack! What happened in Jack? What happened? What happened?
I just felt bad for him. So, I mean, being a young kid and not understanding everything. So.
Scott Boras, hot dog revelation.
I view unwanted hot dogs as orphans. And I often pick them up and take them with me and warm them in the microwave before they gain their death.
Hot dogs left on the floor, Boris?
I personally do not believe that there should be orphaned hot dogs in stadiums. So often I do bring them home and make sure that they're eaten appropriately by certain animals or people that I have in the house.
Dan, a Starbucks revelation.
I had a chance to get in on Starbucks at the beginning, and I failed.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Get out of here.
Say again?
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not saying I could have bought Starbucks. I'm just saying that I had a chance to get in early on stock on Starbucks. I didn't have a percentage of ownership in Starbucks. We're not talking about what it is that we're talking about.
Stock. Okay, big deal.
Okay.
Big deal.
What did you guys think I was saying? That me and Howard Schultz were palling around?
Jason Giambi's Derek Jeter revelation.
Derek Jeter's a gold thong wearer. He wore it one time.
He wore the golden thong?
Wow.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
He had to get out of a slump.
Wow.
He wore the golden thong.
You guys should have done your research on the gold thong. I mean, the gold thong's legendary. It's never not got a hit.
Stugatz dog food revelation.
You guys ever look at dog food and say, "Let me try that"?
Oh, I have tried it.
I saw this. What?
I've tried it before.
Go on.
College.
Oh, why? What happened?
The Store 24 by my house in Worcester, Massachusetts was closed down. Store 24, which means it's open 24 hours a day. They were closed down because someone tried to rob them, and they were closed, and I couldn't get in there, and all I had in my house, and I was hungry, man, was Alpo.
Did you have a dog?
Yeah, well, my roommate had a dog, yeah.
Troy Gateman, Charles Haley revelation.
No one was more proud of his manhood than Charles Haley.
Yeah. True or false? One time he put that manhood on a teammate's shoulders during cards, and that
It was
team.
Matt Millen.